Hey, what's happening? It's your host Tinto, and welcome to another episode of The Feeling Station. And before we get started on this weekend's episode, I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that got me coffees, starting with you, Didi Stars. Oh, thank you so much for your generosity. And your comment there is, "Hi Tinto, I'm late to the party. This podcast is liquid gold. Thank you. Here's to many more episodes." Thank you, Didi Stars. I really appreciate that. G Today Bogus coming through. Once again, thank you for your generosity, and it's good to have you back. And then Miss PK, thank you again for your coffees that came through this morning. Your comment there is, "Bribe for Harare episodes to be dropped at a weekly rate." Well, you're in good luck. The Harare episodes start today, and I hope you find this pretty cool. I was like, "Aish." And I hope you guys are too. Harare was fantastic. I'd gone there for my birthday celebrations. If you want to find out how those went, please head over to the 6 Foot Weights podcast. So the number 6 FT and then weights as in bodybuilding weights, and listen to the episode that they dropped yesterday called Mr. Put It In. That should tell you something, because that putting it in has to do with my experience with my ex. Yeah, you heard right. I kind of gave a brief insight into one of my breakup stories with an ex. Yeah, apart from that, if you want to support the podcast in a similar way to the guys I just mentioned, please head over to www.buymeacoffee.com/feeling station and give as your spirit leads. Remember, there is nothing too small to support the podcast that you've grown to love. And if you'd like to purchase some merchandise, again, which I'll be plastering on social media, so you guys look amazing in it, just drop me a DM either on Twitter or on Instagram, and we'll sort out how you get your delivery done. I left some t-shirts out in Harare. Some got delivered to Canada the other day. Some got delivered to the US. I have a couple that have gone to Germany, Kenya, Rwanda, and Eritrea. Yeah, and Somaliland, actually, for those who are supporting the podcast. So yes, we are growing, and I'd appreciate it if you guys speak more about the podcast, share the podcast. It'll be great to get some newcomers on board. But until then, let's get clocked into this week's episode. Is that a breakup?
I think we have a situation right here.
On the Feeling Station.
Welcome to The Feeling Station, a podcast that touches on romantic, family, and friendship breakup stories that people would like to talk about with a view to give lessons from their experiences. I hope you find the story entertaining, but more importantly, meaningful, given the lessons behind everything we are going to talk about today. Now, this podcast is popular for two main reasons. The first being I try and keep my guests anonymous, which brings me to the fun part. Are you ready for this one, me brother?
Hello.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you forgot to say hello.
I did not realize that being in Harare, I might have a Brit in the house. How did that happen, mate?
Oh my God, mate. Listen, yeah. I am British inside, okay? I identify as a British man. I identify as one, hey? So,
Yeah,
is what is. Is what is, bro.
Well, I'm going to identify as a Zimbabwean today, so...
Tiripano. We are there as well.
So, that first reason that the podcast is popular for is the fact that I try to keep my guests anonymous, which brings me to the part where I give you the name we're going to use for the duration of this episode.
All right.
So, your name is Inshona, which is one of the languages in Harare. Well, not Harare in Zimbabwe, and we're in Harare at the moment. And your name is Masimba.
Masimba.
Yeah, and what that basically means is strength, power, authority, somebody who's strong and almighty. That's what Masimba is.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, because there's actually a swear slang thing that I know about with that name, so I'll keep it there. I'll keep it as just the name.
So hopefully you remember that. It's an easy one to remember.
Yeah.
What are you calling the lady you're talking about?
Okay, so this is going to be interesting because I'm going to kind of like make this a two-parter.
Two-parter?
Yes. So we're going to do my breakup.
Yes.
The one that really like fucked me up. Sorry.
And that's what we want.
Is there like you're going to like censor stuff or whatever?
We do not filter here, mate. All right.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, look down. All right.
Oh, hell yeah. It's fucking amazing, man. So, two-parter, right? Mm-hmm. So, we're going to talk about my breakup, and then we're going to talk about what they call the streets of Harare.
The streets of Harare.
Yeah.
Now, what I wrote on Twitter, and I don't know whether this is true or not, but they say Harare is one big bedroom.
Absolutely, man. Like, it just depends which side of the bed you're sleeping on.
Wow.
Otherwise, everybody's on the same bed. Same bed, bro. It's ridiculous.
So what are you calling this? The first one?
Right.
Yeah.
I actually don't know the meaning of this name, but it sounds so fit for her. Skonondo.
What?
Skonondo.
What the hell is that?
Skonondo. Skonondo is, I don't know. I think it's something to do with being naughty. I think it's a nickname of something to be naughty. Skonondo.
So for you, because of the weight, I can't even say it right. Skonondo.
Skonondo. Yeah. So we'll call it Sko.
That's easy. That's easy relatable for me. So this is about Masimba and the Sko.
Masimba and Sko. That's part 1. That's of the breakup.
And then part 2.
Part 2
we're gonna usher in fresh ones at that point.
Yes.
Perfect.
Great.
Second reason why the podcast is doing great is there are real life lessons that people learn from what you're going to talk about today.
Right.
So, what would you like those who are listening to your story today to learn?
Okay, so the first one, after God, fear women.
Hey.
After God, fear women. Women, because...
But women say the same thing. After God, fear men.
I don't think it's like, the fear I have is more of, oh my goodness, when you guys go all out to screw us over.
You stop at nothing.
Exactly. With men, we kind of have a conscience. Yes, we blunt it. Sometimes. Sometimes.
I wonder how this is going to play out to people listening. I'm almost confident every woman that heard you say that just now were like,
You know what? I shit you not. Like the men that really are like despicable, like the trash that they are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's not about fearing them. I think it's just about leaving them the hell alone.
Gotcha.
Yeah. With the fear I have, it's more like a fear of, my goodness, like I will not.
Like you're almost petrified.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
okay.
But then I get the fear that women have also of men. But I feel that is because men generally, I do know that men sometimes, do screw up and it's sometimes even knowing I think it's just us being clumsy with our nonsense.
Clumsy.
Men are just clumsy. We're klutzes. We just we fall over stuff and we just do these things without thinking because we use the other head to think. You know what I mean? So I think with men it's just dumb. It's just us being dumb. With women it's calculated. It's not mischievous. Sorry. It's what's the word? Sinister.
Which is why you're saying fear.
Fear. Okay. Like it's sinister. Yeah. Like it's one of those like, wow.
Yeah.
Dude, if you were to screw me over, like, you know what? Yeah.
You've done it.
So that's lesson number 1.
Okay. You got a second one?
Frick. I can't believe I have only done like lesson number 1. Okay, so there's I'll summarize them as the next 3. This lesson is like for number 1. This is like for the breakup, and then the rest is
they're gonna come. So let's actually get into the rest at the point that you refer to them. So this one, after God, fear women.
After God, fear women.
So let's jump straight into it.
Right,
Masimba, where did you meet Sko, and why did you decide, hey, this is my chick?
Right. So Sko and I, gosh, this is gonna be interesting. Sko and I have known each other, had known each other since high school. Like we didn't like interact that much. We've like grown up in the same circles. I think I probably like dated 1 or 2 of her classmates type thing. Like it was just one of those, we know each other like from high school, and it was just that. And then came after I finished my varsity, right? And everything was fine. I was oblivious about the world that's awaiting me after I've gotten my graduate, my degree and all that stuff. And then, if there's one thing I regret, it's so weird, but it wasn't my fault. But I regret the day I drove to a certain place and got seen by her.
So you said it wasn't your fault. Who drove you there?
No, like it wasn't about me driving there. Okay, this is actually going to be interesting. I was driving there to meet somebody else. Okay. And they stood me up and she saw me and texted me and said, was that your car?
Okay.
Because she recognized my car, right? And she recognized my car from years back when one of my friends was pulling a Mac on her. And I took her home after they failed. and she remembered my car from that time.
Mad.
Right? So she recognized my car this time, and I was like, yeah, it's me, and it was downhill from there. So I got whipped. We met at certain places. We went on dates.
It's interesting you say that it went downhill very fast.
Okay.
Because what I'm interested in, you're literally driving, you've been stood up, a woman recognizes you, text you, and you're like, hey, is that you? You're like, yes. At what point did that change from you're my high school friend to, hey, I can't cope? Right.
It changed after the few dates. So we went on a few dates. It was one of those, oh, you're in Harare now, because she wasn't in Harare. Like, we bumped into each other here, but we're both from that other side.
Yeah.
So the thing is, we were both in Harare at the time, and then we just, decided to coincide each other's paths. And then she saw my car, and that's when she hit me up. I didn't know where she was.
Did you pull a move on her?
Yes, I did. So, but that was after.
So what did you like about it that you didn't like before in high school? What had changed?
I think she grew a little more confident about herself. She was one of those like back of the class type of girls. Like, she didn't really have much of a like loud persona and all that stuff. She was very introverted.
Right.
But then I think the experience with varsity, where she was, and just generally life, I think it just opened her up a little.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So she was different now. But I didn't know her then.
Does that mean you're generally attracted to confident women then?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. 100%. I like a woman who knows what she wants to go for, and she says that this is what I want out of me. This is kind of why I don't like deal with 2Ks, man. Like,
with what?
2Ks.
2K. Oh,
the 2000s, bro. Like, yo.
I'm a 2000.
Oh my God, homie. Like, those ones are insane. Like, somebody was like, you know what, you need to date a 2K. I said, you know what, I choose life. I choose life. Because that's. I mean, they're taking over the world. Yeah,
no.
They are, but dude, I love my peace. Eh?
For them to actually be coined, I'm a 2000. Should tell you something. And I guess I need to be careful because I know I got some
2000
that listen to this.
Yeah. But no. One thing I'll say to you, if there's a 2K that's listening in here, you know what, you guys are doing great, but tone it down a little. Because now,
for us oldies, maybe because, hey, bruh.
It's a lot to take in, man. Like, they are on another level. Like, it's crazy. But anyway.
So Score is more confident now?
Score is more confident. We get to know each other. I went on one knee and asked her out on Christmas Day because I didn't have any...
On Christmas Day,
Yeah, I didn't have any presents to give her. I was a broke student, fresh out of varsity, and I was like, I like you, but I don't really have anything to give you. We'd known each other. We'd been vibing for about a couple weeks now. I think about 3 or so weeks. So yeah, I asked her out, and that was it.
And she's like, yes, cool.
Yeah, so
nice.
Anniversary was Christmas Day. It was very hard to forget.
Nice.
So, hey man, we did the most. I don't recall a time when the honeymoon phase finished.
Yeah.
Except at the time when I'm about to explain where shit went left.
Bro.
Dude, the honeymoon, like for me, my honeymoon phase with her was, I can say, about 2 years.
What?
2-year honeymoon phase. I was deep in love, bro. Like, it's just that I'm anonymous, but everybody that like knew me knew that this guy is
whipped.
Into it. Whipped like no tomorrow. My family, dude, my mom, my sister, everybody knew.
This wasn't your first relationship in life, was it?
It was not my first, but it was the one that I said, here I am sure.
What made it different? I know you like the confidence and that, but what made that relationship different? And I don't want to go too deep into, but bro, just watching you and the way you're explaining how this 2-year honeymoon phase was.
So I think, and it's weird that this is the reason why I think it lasted that long. And this is just the honeymoon phase. I haven't even mentioned the end of the relationship. I think it was because I made the decision to love.
That's deep, bro.
As simple as that. I made the decision to love. This is someone I was with, and I said, I made a promise to you when I went on one knee. it's a betrayal, a self-betrayal to myself if I don't fulfill that which I said I would do when I went on one knee. So for me, that is what sustained everything. Like I was in it for the long run from the get-go.
You were intentional.
Simple.
But one of the things that that I'm always keen on is beginning with the end in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're solid about what the end should be, all of the steps you take along that journey are to make that a reality.
And it's simply you just following what it is. You already have the destination. So all it is for you to just walk the journey. That's it. So 2 years, man. Like I had a full on honeymoon phase of 2 years. I was in it. Like I moved. I made sure everything was on point.
You moved from where? From where you used to live to where she to Harare?
Yeah.
So you moved just for her?
Essentially. Yeah. That was it. Well,
jeez,
there were other reasons.
Nah, but they don't matter.
They don't really matter.
Your face tells it all.
Nah,
you moved to be with the missus.
No, I mean, like,
so I know a lot of people that get a bit anxious and nervous about someone moving for them. Mm-hmm. Was she okay you moving for her?
Yes, because the other reasons for my moving were justified as well. My profession it needs the Harare aesthetic. It needs the Harare influence in it to work.
Okay.
Right. So where I was, like where I came from, it wasn't as big. Gotcha. It needed that cosmopolitan influence for me to also network and all that stuff. So that was one of the reasons. It was just everything just lining up. Mm-hmm. Like the reason, there was the main reason, yes, but it was also like for me to also like grow as a person, like my job, my a new life. Because this is also me like moving out of my parents' place. You know, it was different from me like getting a job when I'm still under my parents' roof, and I did that already through my attachment, my internship. So this was now me like thrusting myself into full adulting mode.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I needed that, and that was something that she also supported. And everything worked out. I came through, established myself, had a couple of jobs here and there. I created a name, made a very good group of friends through a networking organization, and everything was working out. Everything was working out. 2 years, fam. 2 years. Absolute bliss. Then, holy fuck. Then came the time I said, all right, girl, this is some shit. The fact that you're laughing, you know that this is about to be some
it's the way
bullshit. You said oh my God.
We haven't even had a transitional period between the honeymoon phase, just, kind of faded. None of that shit. It's straight into Dan.
Bam, bro. Right. So, it came 2 years, literally like 2 years, kind of like on the dot even. I was like, yo, shawty, what it do? Listen, I've gotten us tickets to go to a carnival. I'm not sure if you know the Vic Falls Carnival. Yeah. So I was like, I got tickets. So, yo, what it do? Are you keen? I understood where she was coming from with the whole, it's kind of last minute. But I was like, it's the Vic Falls Carnival.
Yeah.
Like, this is something you probably will not experience regularly. And if you need to make a plan, and it's not anybody else who's asking you but your boyfriend. You know, it's not like some random dude who's saying, hey, let's go. And no, it's your boyfriend, and he's given you the opportunity to, like go and have fun at something that big.
So why not take it up? Yeah, I mean, it's last minute, but
it's last minute, and I felt like, you know what? In as much as it's spontaneous, it shouldn't be that bad or that difficult to wiggle out of, or to wiggle around or whatever. Dog, I got like the shouting of the century. Like it was one of those, this is so last minute and I don't appreciate it type vibes. Like it was one of those, this is the worst thing you could ever suggest to me. And I'm like,
what?
How? I'm asking for us to go and have fun. Like, I understand if you cannot come and you say, no, you're not, you can go and have fun with your friends, whatever. But she took it as an offense that I was asking her to do something that's spontaneous. And I'm like, I've taken you out of the country before spontaneously. I've taken you out for like in general spontaneously. And I'm asking you to do something for the Vic Falls Carnival spontaneously. And the accommodation is set. All you need to do is just say yes and we go. And all of a sudden it's a problem that generated into a full-blown argument.
Mud.
I was like, what the... Okay, I get that your parents are reserved. Like they're very like reserved people and they need heads ups and stuff. But you've done a lot worse.
Exactly.
You've done a lot worse. There's times when you didn't stay at home. You didn't sleep at home. Right? I'm asking you to do something that is publicly documented that is happening. And all you need to tell them is,
I'm going there. For the festival. Yeah.
Yeah. And what made it worse is the parents weren't even around. So it was like, okay, your folks are not around, but you're saying that it's too short notice because they should know. So what are you staying for? You get it? So I was like, you know what? It's cool. I do not want to argue with you. Let me just go and have fun because I had the ticket. It was my first Vic Falls Carnival. So I'm going with a friend. He invited us as well. He said, no, come with her. And I was like, okay, score. Are we doing it? Nope. Okay, cool. I'll go. Right? But I brought it to you so that we could go together.
Yeah.
If I'm going alone is what it is. I go. Come back. Things are a bit dicey. We're still okay. But then this is now the point where I had faced quite a lot of life tribulations.
So you went to Vic Falls. How long were you out in Vic Falls for?
3 days.
So within those 3 days, what were comms like over text and over the phone? Were they good, bad?
I don't quite remember, but I do remember keeping in touch.
Okay.
I do remember keeping in touch, letting her know that this is it. And then I was told that she went to church for New Year's. Hell if I know if that was true. but that's the story I felt. I was told. I was told. So yeah. So essentially, yeah, it was that. And then I came back. Things are a bit weird now because I've got my high from the Vic Falls Carnival. I'm like happy. I went to a carnival. It was amazing. And then like she's on the somber side. Like what the hell's going on?
So she wasn't really absorbing your energy.
Exactly. And I'm like, okay, you good? Boo, you good? You good, girl? Like, is everything okay? And I mean, we were fine. We were fine for a couple months. A couple more months after that. I was like, okay, maybe I felt bad because I was like, okay, I'm sorry I upset you because this was like something spontaneous for me to ask of you. But if it's a situation that I can say, I'm sorry for doing that or whatever it is that could not happen on your end for you to come to the carnival, I apologize. Like for inciting any anger in you. And we moved on. Everything was fine. We moved on. I had my birthday. She had hers, and everything was fine. Then, this was just what I just told you was just what I'm looking from in hindsight for this thing I'm about to tell you. So, shit was going left. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do about myself right now? I had no job. I lost my car. This is, like I said, there was a series of unfortunate events that now happened after the Vic Falls Carnival. So I had to move out of my flat.
And all of these are out of your control.
Everything is out of my control. This is now me doing damage control with my life crumbling. And I'm like, you know what? I think I might need to like start afresh somewhere else. But like, this is to help us. I had a discussion with her. And then came going to South Africa, right? South Africa was an idea because she was there as well. And she had a lot of fond memories about SA, Cape Town specifically. So I said, you know what? Since you miss Cape Town so bad, let me do what I did with Harare and go and set myself up in Cape Town as well. And Cape Town is a more functional economy. If I get a job, everything will work out. You can come and visit, blah, 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 blah. So this is me with her in mind. This is not necessarily me doing it for me.
You're doing it for us.
For us. It was an us thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me go to Cape Town. I sold the car, sold my things, and I said, yo, I'm
out.
I'm out. Yeah. I'm leaving, and I'm going to make a better life for all of us.
How was she about that?
I would say indifferent. She did support, but then she's like, if you're going to do it because you know that you're going to succeed. And I really didn't know if I was going to succeed because I had, that time in your life where you don't know how many options you have and you're just trying whatever works. I didn't have a plan, so to speak. And I guess that was my downfall. But then I had the end in mind that if I managed to settle here, like I didn't hire, because I had the confidence that I did it here, so I can do it elsewhere. But it's another country, different regulations, different rules. Things are different. It's different from me just doing things where I'm here, right? So things like visas, things like permits and all that stuff, it became complicated. Yeah. And I'm so much of a Boy Scout. I don't do this thing of like jumping borders or buying my stuff. I wanted stuff legit. But at the time, SA wasn't really bringing people in,
Right.
So I tried. I actually went for a couple of interviews. And they did say that you do qualify, but the problem is you don't have the papers for us to make you start work immediately.
Mad.
So because of that, a lot of companies in South Africa also didn't have that patience to get things started for you and stuff. So yeah, things didn't quite work out. But the crux of this is in the middle of all of this. How can I say this? I had a tablet. I had a tablet that I hadn't used in a while, right? And I used it during the trip to SA. I was using a bus. I didn't fly. So I used a bus all the way from Zim to Cape Town. That is all.
Bro.
Mate. Just from Joburg to Cape Town alone is 21 hours.
Jesus.
From Joburg to Cape Town alone. I'm not going to talk about the trip from Zim because there's the border and all that stuff, right? And I was paying for my own stuff. Remember, like I had just sold my car, so I was using those funds to sustain myself throughout this. So I was using a tablet that I hadn't used in months, right? And then she used it to log in her Twitter account.
So she'd used it previously.
She had used it previously.
And hadn't logged out of her Twitter account.
Thank you.
Mad.
And guess what? I hadn't used it in so long, like literally was off for months. I hadn't used it in so long, I decided, you know what? My phone has no battery. Let me use the other device that I got from my mom. I actually left it with my mom. And when I was leaving, I said, Mom, I think I might need some entertainment because I saved some movies in it because I knew the trip was going to be long. That was before I had power.
Of course.
Before we had power
banks and all that, yeah.
Right. So here I am, tablet, and now I'm in South Africa. So the network is, it's crisp. It's amazing. Everything's going on. Put in my line, and I say, this is just for me to keep in touch. Messages come in. Messages started coming in, and I'm like,
on which platform?
Twitter. And I'm like, hold up, I don't talk to anybody like this. This is not me. Like, I didn't say I miss you to anybody. Who the hell is this? So I go in and I see it's her account, and she's freaking flirting with some other dude. And I'm like, what the hell are you saying to him that you miss what you did with him? Like, what did you do? So all of this is shocking to me because, first of all, I'm not meant to see this information. I am not meant to see this information.
But bam, here it is.
In HD, nigga. Sorry.
So you had an option, Masimba. Speaking from a moral point of view, to consciously say, this is my lady stuff, let me respect her privacy.
My guy.
And then you had another devil on the left shoulder saying, bro, enter this DM and see what is happening.
Homeboy.
Sounds like you listen to the little devil. Why?
Homeboy, if you see a notification saying, I miss the way you touch me. Because with Twitter DMs, they give you like the first like couple words, you know, back then before it all updated. But they gave you the first words of the DM and it said, I miss your ... I'm like, I don't talk about this to anybody. So who am I missing? Somebody can't be texting me because everybody knows.
Because you're thinking these are your messages on your device.
There we go.
Mad.
So checked it out. I went through the entire thread. I'm like, holy shit. And by the way, all of this happened before I landed in Cape Town. So when I was in Cape Town, I've got it in the back of my mind. This girl cheating on me.
What were the other messages saying?
Oh God, Tinto, you're the worst. So
I know this. I miss the way you touch me.
Yeah.
I miss your ...
Yeah.
That was on the notification. But when you got into the message, what was that? I miss your what?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but it was something along the lines of the fun things. And one of the other things I do remember is the dude actually said, you have a boyfriend. Why the hell are you talking to me like this?
Mud.
He actually said it. It was made public. Like, I have never had a public relationship like that in my life. Like, everyone knew. Not because I wanted to like publicize it for the world to see or something, but I was just that transparent.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, you know what? Ugh, this is my girl.
You had the end in mind.
There we go. So even he knew about me. It wasn't one of those things that he was kept on the down low about me, or like she was lying to him. But no, it was publicly there. He knew me. He saw my profile. He knew exactly who I was to her. And he's asking her, yo, Sade, you got your boy, but you're shamelessly flirting with me. What's going on?
And what did she say to that?
I don't give a fuck.
Jesu wangu.
Literally. She literally said, I don't care. I'm like, really? You don't?
Now, this is important to me. When you looked at the date stamp, was this during your 2-year honeymoon phase?
This is now where I mentioned that part. Remember when I said she was acting weird about me asking about
Vic Falls?
Vic Falls. The date stamps coincided.
Hey, Nkosi yami.
The date stamps coincided. Remember when I said something was off? This is what was off.
Because the reaction was unprecedented and disproportionate to the intent. For you, I want to spend time with you, my girlfriend. Let's go to carnival. It's going to be 3 days of fun away from Harare. Buzzing music, good vibes, tourist vibes. And she went ballistic.
My man. That's what it was. So, I'm going to try and make it quick so that I know shock value is crazy. But essentially, shit got really bad. I felt very betrayed. I caught her. Basically, I caught her. And I couldn't take it in because I was hiding it from her for like a couple of days that I knew about this.
Why?
Because I needed to first, it was shock. I think it was shock. I needed to process it.
2 things can happen with shock.
Mm-hmm.
Immediate eruption, which I used to have a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
Shock value, boom, explosion instantly.
Mm-hmm.
But that had catastrophic effects that up until today, I may not have been able to fix with some people.
Right.
Some people mull over it over time, think about it, process it, and then get to a stage where like, I'm ready to talk because I've processed it, I've digested it. Which one of those two are you?
A bit of both.
So you did not erupt when your
erupt.
bus got to Cape Town and you've read all this shit, you were calm and collected?
Yep. It was a face of pretense. When the person, like a friend, I was staying by a friend, actually a mutual friend of a friend, he saw me and he thought everything was fine. And it's only until, I think, day 2 or 3 at staying at his place where I said, bro, I'm not okay. I'm not okay because I found out about this before I even landed, and it really cost me my jobs that I was doing. I felt like I was now out of sync, out of balance with the reason as to why I went there. So it was doomed to fail. From the moment I read those messages, I was not going to make it in the business. I was just not focused. I was just thinking, what am I doing this for now?
So how did you bring it up with her?
I sent her the screenshots.
Without saying anything, just boom.
Yeah. I sent her the screenshots after I think my second failed interview. And I said, what is this? And it was very difficult for her to explain what those were. And she was like, it's not what you think, blah, 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 blah. I had a friend, the friend, one of the friends I was staying with was like, dude, she a hoe. Like she being a hoe right now. She's not even like owning up to being caught. It was tough. And what made it worse is she was also writing her examinations at school. And both of us are now hurting, and she's hurting, but I'm like, but you're the one that's like creeping on me. Like, I don't know if you guys met, but I can definitely tell that something happened, you know? So shit doesn't work out. I'll try and make this fast. Shit doesn't work out. I eventually come back to Zim. And before I did, my best friend was the one that intervened for me to speak to her and ask, what the hell are you doing?
Why the need for him to intervene?
Because he was in Harare with her at the same time. Because I said, my guy, please, can you go and ask her why she did this? Because you're my best friend. She knows that. Can she tell me if she doesn't want me now or not?
But she's your girl.
I couldn't.
But why would you open up to another man?
Oh no, he's like my brother. Dude.
Yeah, he's your brother,
Mm-hmm.
not her brother. So why were you confident she would open up to him? What was their relationship, him and her? Were they super close too?
Not super close. No. There was boundaries.
So what gave you that confidence to say, "Hey, speak on my behalf"?
Because I needed someone to listen, to hear it from her face that I did this because of ABC. And I needed him to be my proxy.
Okay.
Because I couldn't be there physically to do it.
So for you, it was the physical contact.
Yeah.
The look in the eye with her.
Yeah.
To see whether there is any remorse.
Thank you.
Any shame.
Thank you.
That hopefully your homeboy could tap into to get to the core of why this has happened and then play it back to you.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
How did that go?
Well, he said she was remorseful. She felt ashamed. Her statuses proved it. She was posting a lot of dark shit. And she looked like she was going through a lot. Like, we also had an online friend who spoke about this to the both of us. And she was like, she's going through the most, man. Like, she's feeling really terrible about it.
But I don't get something.
Mm-hmm.
What is the most for her? Because all she said was, it's not what you think. So if it's not what you think, why is she going through the most?
Now you get it. Now, this is going to be explained in the next 2 times I caught her cheating.
Jolo.
Third time's a charm, buddy. Third time's a charm.
Jolo.
So,
yeah.
Fast forward, I come back, shit didn't work out. I say, you know what? Let me just lay low. Let me try and recalibrate my things. And I went back to my mom's house. And I said, let's do it again. Let's give it another chance.
Why?
Like I said, it was a decision, bro.
It was a decision, but why?
Love is a decision.
You're here to talk to me now because one, I'm grateful that you said, I want to share my story. So I have a reason. You decided to give it another try. Why? Were you in too deep to let go?
Yeah, I was. And I felt like I was in denial, I think. that thing of saying that this is going to fail, and it failed not because I did anything wrong. But if I've been the one that's wronged, if I forgive, maybe I can salvage.
Funny thing is, you're forgiving what you don't know.
There we go.
Which should be even more scary to give it another chance.
Faith. I walked in faith, man. It was faith and hope. But anyway, that didn't work out. So we tried again. I said, you know what? I forgive you.
It's interesting you say we tried again.
Well, it was me, really. It was essentially me. Because another thing that really came to me is, you know how a lot of people talk about the whole thing that like when women find out that their partners are cheating, they give them chances and all that stuff. I felt like maybe I should also give her a chance to redeem herself, because if I was in the same position, I'd want that for myself too. You know, so I was putting myself in her shoes. Like, what would I want my partner to do for me if I ever wronged them like this?
So you're coming from a position of empathy.
There we go. That's what it was.
The interesting thing is, I feel if you had cheated on her, what you would have done would be to acknowledge what you've done and apologize to her. So you were expecting exactly the same.
There we go. That's what I was expecting, man. I said, look, if I was in your shoes,
I would do this.
I would do this. So I was like, fine, I'll give you the opportunity to be what I'm thinking I would do, which is act right, be remorseful, and work on this relationship and see what's wrong with it or what problems I have with it and fix it. Right?
Yeah.
So everything is working out. We try it again. Bloody fuck, she did it again, man.
Aish.
Same dude. And you know what? The thing that was really interesting, that I will never forget. This is where I felt like my intelligence was insulted. I see that she's still talking to this dude. And
How?
We had agreed no passwords on phones. Up until now, I still don't have one on my phone, eh? Like, I don't have a password, right? We had agreed because I was like, I understand that you have your privacy, but I feel like if we're going to be open about this, let's make sure that our phones are not lockable.
So this is a condition, in air quotes, of re-engagement.
Yes.
I need you to show me that you're trustworthy.
Yes.
And one of the ways that we're going to do this is by getting rid of everything.
There we go.
You felt you had nothing to lose because your phone was clean anyway.
There we go.
So I need you to prove it to me that there's nothing going on, because I would do the same for you.
And this is weird because I'm a guy. Naturally, guys hide their phones. I was like, nah. If my phone was to ring, pick it up.
Okay, so no passwords?
No passwords, nothing. One day I just looked into her phone and I see...
For what reason?
No, I was glancing. It was just one of those things like was seated
Oh, you're looking at the phone.
Yeah, I was just looking at the phone. Her phone was out and I'm like, I think she was making an order for something. I don't know what it was at a shopping center. And her phone was open and she put it down. I think she was just like checking on the menu and I see this dude's name at the top. Like a new message just came in and I'm like, why the fuck are you still talking to this guy?
She didn't even bother changing his name.
Nope.
The disrespect.
Right? So she didn't change his name. And I asked why you're still talking to him. This girl lied through her teeth. My guy, I don't care if she's listening to this and I'm going to say, go, you lied.
Damn.
She said this dude is trying to hook her up with a job in SA. And I'm like, what? In hindsight, I'm like, I think I know what kind of job that was if the prefixes blow. You know what I mean? The prefix had to be blow. I'm like, I didn't ask what kind of job, but thinking in hindsight, I think I knew what kind of job it was.
Oh, bro.
Bro, she lied through her teeth. She said, I'm trying to get a job in Durban. I'm like, motherfucker was in Durban. Anyway, that's just the suspicion.
You see, suspicion is a mad thing because it makes the brain run wild.
Dude. On top of knowing
that there's previously something has gone on. You had the phone in front of you with no passcode.
Mm-hmm.
You had an opportunity to say, I don't think I believe you. Can I see what he said?
Yeah.
Did you do that?
I did.
And?
I went through the chats and it was not much. I think she deleted. Should have been a deletion of something.
So you asked to see them later or right there and then?
No, later.
Yeah.
Later. I was like, oh, okay. So I trusted her because I was like, you know what? Isn't it about us trusting each other?
Nah.
I know.
Bro.
I know. And this is not even like, I haven't even gotten to like the second time I caught her. The second time is when I was coming through to Harare for a function. So she was doing a function where she was getting a prize, an award. And we got to her place and we needed to get something. She forgot something. So we actually drove back to her place and she left her phone in the car. So it's one of those things that now she put her password. I noticed that she put her password back. And she went into the house and it's one of those things that like before the phone dims, you touch the screen to keep it on. Right?
This guy. So the phone had been unlocked.
It had been unlocked.
She gets out of the car. She's obviously waiting. If she has an iPhone, it's a 30-second.
No, it wasn't an iPhone.
It was an iPhone. Okay.
I bought that phone. It wasn't an iPhone.
So you knew if I touch this thing, it's going to be alive.
Yes.
And give me enough time just to get in and snoop.
While she goes in to go and get what she forgot and come back out. My man, I went to the chat and this is where everything went. Hey,
but how did you know which chat to go to?
She didn't change his damn name.
WhatsApp? No.
Yes. They went from Twitter to freaking WhatsApp and that was the clause, like cut communication. But no, they moved it to a more message-friendly platform.
I've heard that whenever somebody gets busted first time round, if they're really not remorseful, they just become smarter about it and move on to a different platform.
Thank you for putting smart in quotes. Yeah, because the one thing that really pissed me off, like at the end of it all, is that she was just so dumb to get caught multiple times. She didn't cover her damn tracks.
So now you get into WhatsApp. What are they talking about?
Dude, talking nudes, bro.
Hey.
I've never felt that insecure in my life.
So why?
I saw it. I saw his. Bro, I know what this dude looks like naked, and I'm like, I don't even know you, and just sending. And the thing that really pissed me off. Okay, well, it happened later, but this is the third time when she was like sending nudes in lingerie I bought. But that's for the third time. Anyway, essentially, I caught this girl cheating with the same dude twice. Right?
Let's talk about cheating. Is he in the same country as she is? And at this time, are they in the same country? He's in a different country. So the cheating we're talking about is emotional cheating because there's some feelings going on, and then a form. I don't even know if I can describe it as physical because they're not in touch. Like he couldn't touch her, she couldn't touch him.
And that is one of the reasons why I chose to let it go. Because I felt like maybe she's just playing fantasies.
But somebody has seen your woman's cookie.
There we go.
Somebody has seen your woman's breast.
And reminiscing. By the way, it's not that they didn't. They have before.
Have what?
They've had sex.
When?
This is what I never got.
So how'd you know they did?
Because she said, because remember the first one is like, I miss your what. They actually did it. I think it was before we dated. I hope it was. Before we dated. But the fact that you would want to reminisce about something like that whilst dating me, that's disrespect. So, that is strike 2. The thing that sucks about strike 3.
Ay, bo, wena. Masimba. How did you even open up the door so that strike 3 even happens? You've seen your woman has been sending nudes to someone Your woman has shouted you without reason.
Oh.
Your woman has not been open and transparent about what's happening on Twitter, and you still went back?
My man, what I say is that I made that decision and I said I'm gonna stick to it.
Was it the sex with her?
No.
What was sex with her like?
It was great. It was great.
Great is not an understatement.
Yeah, it isn't. It was great. She was great.
How big a part did that have in your mind being messed up by all of this?
I felt like that was not why I was in there. The sex was literally a bonus. And as great as it was, I wasn't in it for that. I was in it because I genuinely loved this girl to hell and back type thing. I said, this is the person I have dedicated my life to. The only thing that's now needing for us to do,
Just put a ring on it.
there we go. And I was headed there. And this is after strike 2. So, strike 3, my bro. Strike 3. This is the one that's going to leave you a little speechless. Strike 3. I had made myself, I had brought myself back. I was now working my way back up.
Yeah.
Come back to Arai, get a new job, figure life out again because the South Africa didn't work.
Yeah.
And I needed to make sure, like the thing with strike 2, it gave me that thing to say, you need to be in your girl's presence because it looks like she did admit to it,
Right.
that she has abandonment issues.
So?
No, the abandonment issues run deep. Like it's one of those like her mom passed away a long time ago. So she just doesn't like to be alone.
Yeah, but you're with her.
That's the thing. It's
So
physically, like she needed me there. So that's what I thought. That's what I thought. You get it?
No.
Okay.
Because Score,
Mm-hmm.
your man is saying, come with me to Vic Falls so that I don't abandon you. Come with me.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, nah, I ain't doing that.
That's the irony.
Okay?
That's
And
the
then
irony.
you're like, okay, I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to abandon this relationship at first strike. So come with me to part 2 of this journey. And she's still like, do you know what, Masimba? Nah, I don't think so. I would rather this guy see my titty and my cookies.
Mhm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not abandoning her either. So what abandonment issues are we talking about when you've been as present as you possibly can, but instead she's abandoning you?
Hence why third strike had to happen.
Had to happen for who? For her?
Not for me.
Or for you?
For me.
So that you're confident that you're making the right decision?
There we go.
Why did you doubt your first 2 decisions? When you've done nothing wrong as a man, why did you doubt yourself? And you don't strike me as a guy who doesn't have confidence. You ooze confidence.
Thank you.
Right? No, you do.
Yeah. Okay. So the first reason is when I caught her the first time, she mentioned that she was insecure about a girl that I refused for her at the time that I was still in touch with. Right?
Right?
You know, it's one of those things that like you're vibing with somebody else and then this one comes into your life.
Yeah, yeah.
And I felt like it was only right for me to be honest to the other girl that I was vibing with. Like, look, sorry, I've actually met the person I want to be with in my life.
So I gotta go.
I gotta go. I literally went to it. So in my mind, I'm thinking it's honorable that I went and told this person to her face. But in Score's mind, she's like, why does she garner so much respect from you? Why didn't you just do it over a text? I'm like, I don't think I was raised to be an asshole. My mom raised a really good kid. I don't think in as much as I do my bullshit, I'll at least respect you as a human being. Right? And she did not want me to respect that girl the way I did. And she said the reason I was talking to that dude who you found text of me with is because you couldn't also let go of this person that you told off.
You know,
I know. It's ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous. In hindsight.
that's what it boils down to. The pure lack of accountability.
Thank you. I'm drinking to that.
Pure lack of accountability.
Why do women not like being accountable?
Same reason that men don't.
Okay, men don't like responsibility.
Accountability is a very difficult thing because it requires you to get real with yourself.
Which is a lot of...
And humans do not like being real with themselves.
Because it makes them expose their ugliest parts, which they have major insecurities about.
Yep.
Etc. So yes, it was an accountability issue. But this, by the way, this is all leading to strike 3. I haven't even gotten to strike... Dog, strike 3 is messy.
Let's go there.
Strike 3 was messy, bro. Like, strike 3 is when I'm saying, okay, I'm doing... Like, remember strike 2? Where like I found the text where I like found the nudes and all that stuff. My best friend, the one who proxied for me, refused to do it this time.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either.
Because
I love you, bro. By the way. Shout
out. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, I really don't want to take away from strike 3 coming.
Mm-hmm.
When you decided to go back after your boy said she's remorseful and she's sad, did that help you feel it was safe to go back?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So for strike 3 is like,
No, even strike 2. When strike 2 happened, it was one of those, my guy, I did it the first time. Clearly that she's not getting her lessons. She's not learning her lessons. So you handled this one this time.
I respect that man.
Right? He's amazing. Best brother of my life. And what was interesting is I actually made it at the same place where he met her. And that day I decided to wear black because I'm saying it's either I'm burying this relationship or I'm burying your bullshit.
Mad.
That's literally why I wore
Either
black.
way, there's a burial.
Either way, there's a burial. And if I'm burying this bullshit that you are causing me, just know that I am alone now. My own friends and family has said that this bullshit is too much for us to continue to act on your behalf. Now you gotta own your shit. If she is gonna be the hoe that you're gonna take in, like, what's that dude's name? Habakkuk. Who was that guy? Who's that nigga?
I don't remember, but I know that he was told by Jesus that, this woman is moving mad, but go and take her back and make her your wife.
There we go. And my dumbass decided to use that analogy for myself.
Mad thing.
So essentially, I said, okay, this is now you and me. No outside forces. This is us and us alone. So nobody had anything to say in the relationship anymore. Things were okay. Things were fine. I got a job. I moved to this neighborhood. Okay, I'll talk about this thing about like north and south of Samora. You know how it is. I now moved to south of Samora, bro.
Right.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like rentals are shit. So essentially, now it felt kind of like a long distance relationship, even though we're in the same city. Because
you're south.
Because I'm south. And I didn't have a car anymore.
And she was north of Samora.
And she was like major north. Like
mad.
We're talking Bardale, dog.
Eesh.
So it was crazy. It was crazy. Then we had arguments. We had so many arguments. It got to a point where I said, chick, some girl, I don't remember who it was. I freaking hate the fact that I don't remember who it was. But this girl said, I think this girl probably wants a break. Ask her. Right? I was like, okay. But in hindsight, when I look at it, break is short for breakup.
Yeah.
That's the message I have for this part. Break is short for breakup. I talked to her and I'm like, do you want a break? What's going on? Why are we arguing? Like the honeymoon phase had like completely ended, but I was still in it and I was the one that was getting wronged.
Out of curiosity, were these arguments prompted by the smallest of things?
Yes. I don't remember exactly what. I'd be lying.
But they were small.
Very small, minute.
That's like always a sign.
It is. So I said, okay, do you want a break? Is this what you want? And she's like, yeah, I think I probably might want to try that. So, dumbass me decides to say, during this break, I'm going to prepare a huge surprise. Man's got a ring all the way from the United States. Mans was planning. Okay, I'm not going to mention his name, but he is a prolific planner of weddings. Man's got that guy on lock. And he's like, dude, I am planning something huge. I want to engage this woman. Remember, this is after strike 2. My dumbass said, this break, I'm going to shock her and say, look, because we had a time limit to the break. We had a time limit.
What was the time limit?
2 weeks. No, a week and a half, sorry. A week and a half.
So that it doesn't get too long, that you get comfortable in each other's distance and it doesn't come back to life.
Thank you.
So who set the time limit, you or her?
Me. I said it because I'm like, if you said it, you're probably going to like want a freaking month or 2 or whatever. So I'm like, I'll give you your break on the condition that it's broken at this time.
And
right?
she said,
cool. Oh. I'm like, okay, cool. We're all good. I did the most, bro. I went and got a whole like outfit from Fashion Nova. Dude, I was struggling to pay rent, but Mans was like putting US dollars into an account to buy shit from the United States. I bought the engagement ring. I did all the stops. Then, this is where it gets interesting. A friend of mine from Canada had come back to Zim. Very good friend. I love you, bro, if you're listening to this. He knows himself. And he came down because he said, dog, it's been a minute. And this dude was an avid supporter of my relationship.
Okay.
Avid supporter.
Yes.
Avid or avid. Damn, accents. I hate that.
Semantics.
Yes, semantics. So he came through and he was like so excited to see me after a long time because he's a guy that I grew up, well, not grew up with, but like I influenced part of his high school. Like I was kind of like a mentor to him. With what we did. So he's like, I'm in H, bro. Like, and he was doing some performances and stuff because he's into music. And he's like, cool, what do you want us to do? And I'm like, dude, let me come through and see you. So let me just explain this part. He assumed that I wanted to talk about my girl. But this was me genuinely catching up with him. So as we were talking that afternoon when we met up and everything was just catching up, it's been years since high school, everything's changed on his side, catching up. It got to a point where the guy was literally asking me, bro, are you sure you just wanted to catch up? And I'm like, yeah, why? And he's like, okay, fine. How are you and your girl? We haven't spoken about you and your girl. How are you guys? Bro, I am like the way I would describe myself, I had such a gleam in my eye. I'm like, dude, my girl and I, yes, we're having issues, but there's something I haven't planned for her. Like I have this huge thing.
You're like a boy who's been given a shiny toy, that sparkle in your eye.
That sparkle, dude. And I'm like, dude, yes, we're on a break, we're having arguments, but I've got a surprise for her at the end of this. And I show him the ring. I will never forget that day. Mans looked at the ring and he said, don't do it. Mans said, don't do it. I will never forget those words.
And he was looking at you in the eye.
He looked at me, he looked at the ring and he said, don't do it.
What went through your mind when you heard that?
I'm like, what you mean don't do it? Like, I thought you were pranking me. Like, I was like, what you mean don't do it, dude? I mean, you're the one that commented on our picture. Sheesh. You're chopping. Yeah.
This is what I always say, when we drop a nice accent, I mean, we've obviously
and then we go back.
When we go back, there's always that one word which will catch you out.
Commented. I'll blaming on the alcohol. Yes, guys, we're drinking.
Yes. And that's a really good gin.
Oh, you're welcome, man.
That's an incredible gin. Thanks, man. Thanks for that.
It was actually a gift, and I was like, this is a special occasion. So,
brilliant. Yeah. I really appreciate this, man. So he commented on the...
Yeah, commented. And I'm like, dude, you're the one that's like looking up our images and stuff and like saying that these are couple goals and stuff. Why are you telling me this? And it's like, dude, as your friend, I don't want to be the guy to tell you. Right? I will get somebody who you don't know, who you're not accustomed to, whatever, to explain to you why I'm saying don't
That's
do it.
weird though.
It is, but I understood because I was like, you probably would be biased towards me as your friend to sugarcoat the truth because you don't want to see me hurt.
So how close were you?
Very. You still are.
Close and sugarcoat can't sit in the same sentence. If my best friend ever sugarcoated...
No, he wasn't my best friend.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't my best friend. We were close in the sense of high school. Like we knew each other from then.
Scale of 1 to 10 and closest. 1, we're not close. 10, we're super tight.
6.
Okay.
Yeah, 6. I'll give him a 6 because he's also confided in me of a lot of things. So I think there's that mutual respect.
Yeah.
But he's not my best friend like that. It's just that when we were in high school, we really respected each other.
Yeah.
And this was him also saying, look, because I know you, I'm not going to say something to try and make it hurt less.
Gotcha.
So this is where it gets weird. Turns out that he and another girl were part of I don't know what to call it. It can't be a sex party because it was just the 4 of them. But essentially, my girl was the other guy's person.
Swingers.
Yeah, basically. But it gets so much... Dude, I'm going to have to try and explain this as fast as I can. So, what happened was... I know that when the story starts like that, what happened was... So, it turns out that that guy, like I said, was one of the swingers, whatever they were doing. Like, you know that thing where like your parents' place, your big-ass parents' place is... Remember she stayed in Bardale?
Yep.
Yeah, so turns out the guy she was messing around with stays on the same road. And remember, I'm in South
of Zamora, my guy.
There we go. So she was confident she wasn't going to get caught. So it turns out that this friend of mine, when he went with his girl, they went to that house of this guy, right? And this guy had been macking on my girl for a long time. And what's weird is that she kept dropping hints about him because she wanted to see if I knew him. But the thing is, I don't know that side of his life, but I did know him. And you know what made it even worse?
What do you mean when you say you didn't know that side of his life?
I knew him after high school.
Okay.
But then she kept mentioning high school to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know him. I don't know this dude. Like, I don't know him.
So you don't know him. When you say that's like, you mean you don't know him beyond high school?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Like high school is how he sold himself to her.
Right.
Which I find really weird. But then it turns out this guy, and this is the shocker, this guy who was messing around with my girl during our break actually asked me to be his godfather at one point of his daughter.
Dude.
Yep. The guy messing with my girl was potentially supposed to be the guy who I was godfathering his daughter for.
I have nothing to say to that.
Mans, I had pictures of that beautiful girl and his wife, by the way, who they had to separate. They were culturally married, so it wasn't really anything big. But yeah, it counts.
Yeah,
it counts.
It really does. Before we had the white gown introduced to us, that's all you needed to do.
That's all you did.
Culturally marry that woman, and she is yours.
There we go.
So he's doing all of this with your missus when he has a culturally married missus.
And apparently they were having issues of their own. Right. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. You guys have your own issues.
But the big bedroom thing is coming to life.
And it's about to get worse. So, turns out that he said, and remember I said I've been very public about my relationship.
Yeah.
He said he had no idea that this was my girl. I called it. I called bullshit. And you know what? This time, because it was third strike, I said, I'm not going to do this thing of trusting you to tell me what you're doing about this relationship, like about your affair. I'm going to go and approach this dude myself this time.
Yo.
And hear his side of the story. My guy.
How are you planning to do that?
I met up with him at a place. The thing is,
you don't just meet up with the guy. You should have called him.
Yeah, I did.
Where'd you get his number?
I knew him. Remember when
on the level that you had his phone number?
Crap, I forgot to mention. Remember when I said this friend of mine who said don't do it, said I'm not going to be the one to tell you?
I'll get someone to tell you.
He got the girl he went with to tell me.
Hey, bana.
And the girl who said, she said everything, man. She said, this is the girl that brought us the condoms. Her excuse. This is what my excuse was with me, why she stayed over. She said that the dogs outside were going to bite her. So she's like, I couldn't leave the house, so I had to sleep in. The bullshit, dude. Like, she said,
Jesus, I've not had this. I am freaked out. No joke.
Flabbergasted.
I'm genuinely freaked out by dogs. But because I've been bitten twice when somebody said to me, Hadzirume, which means they don't bite. And then I've been the one to get bitten and they're like, oh, you're the only one who's been bitten. So I've had a genuine phobia for dogs.
I get that.
But to say that the dogs are going to bite me outside at a guy's dude who can walk you out so that you don't get bitten?
And then I asked her, I actually confronted the both of them the next day after hearing this bullshit. Dude, it's just that like I'm not supposed to be known as to who I am. But my friend actually saw me, like when I got the news told to me by his chick at the time. He saw me go on my knees on the pavement outside this girl's house and cry. Dude, I could not believe the shit that I was hearing. I couldn't. So when I approached them, I literally called her up. And turns out that she had left the city to go back home where her dad was. I think she was going to celebrate her dad's birthday or something like that. And I called and I'm like, so who's man's? You know, who's man's? I was met with silence. I'm like, I asked you a question, who's man's? Like, this is not a conversation we need to have over the phone. I'm like, yep, it is. Because you decided we were taking a break, but you didn't tell me that you decided to leave the city. So we're going to talk about it now. Because I literally just came from your house. I walked to her house. Dude, do you know what a walk from Avenues to Borrowdale, Sam Levy feels like? I fucking walked.
Damn, bro.
Because I needed to process this first. I literally made the decision to walk. Because I said, if I take a combi, I'm not going to process this before I get to her. I need to walk and think this out. I have never walked that far for a woman in my fucking life, and I never will. I walked. And her place is not close, dude.
No, trust me, yeah. It takes me a while just to drive that distance.
3 hours, 45 minutes. I timed it. That's how long it took me to walk.
Jeez.
Ask her, who is this? Who's man's? She didn't give me a satisfactory answer. Thankfully, this friend of mine told me who man's was. So I called up man's. I had his number. Remember? He's asked me to be his godfather before. So I have his contact. I called him. Man's, what are you doing with my girl? She's your girl? I'm like, seriously? Like, nigga, I didn't know that. For real. I'm like, okay, prove it to me. Let's meet up. Cool. Came through. Showed me texts. Showed me nudes. I'll never forget that, bro. I remember seeing a nude of her in lingerie I bought.
Eesh.
Bro, I was like, really? So, yeah, no, it was over after that.
And remember, you're talking about how the money situation was difficult for you.
It was tense, man.
You know, so for you to go the extra mile to make your woman look nice.
It was intense.
And she's using that as an opportunity to look nice for another man.
Yep.
That's a low blow,
That's
man.
kind of why I don't buy lingerie for people anymore. I used to love it. Oh my God, I used to love lingerie. Oh, I used to love it. Now, shit, I buy my own clothes. So essentially, like everything just broke down. Like there was no turning back this time. None. I said, look, I think I've given you enough chances. This is more than I can bear. This is it. I actually told her, I got you the ring. I'll send you your Fashion Nova outfit. At the time, Fashion Nova was hot. So, and it was like non-existent in Zim. So I literally got her an outfit and all that stuff. Like I think it was heels as well. I canceled with the planner. Can't say where I was gonna do that because I want to do that for my future person. Yeah. There's a significance, but I canceled that. Sold the ring. I pawned it off actually, and I went on a Tinder spree in Vic Falls. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention part of the money actually also went to therapy. I had to go for therapy for this. So I had a therapist. Thank God I had a therapist. Okay, you probably don't listen to this, but thank you, dude. You saved my life. Went for therapy. Basically, man said, look, what she did is not your fault.
In all of this, at third strike, what did she say the reason was?
That's actually the funny part. She was bracing herself for the breakup. She knew she fucked up, and there was no turning back, even in her mind.
So she didn't even bother give you a reason why she did that?
She said, if you're going to take me back, it's because you want to, not because I'm going to give you a reason to.
Wow.
Zero remorse. I don't even, even when I look back in hindsight, I'm thinking, chick, she actually had the opportunity to try and get back. Because I actually gave her my mom. I was like, go and talk to my mom if you need to. Like, if you need to offload something and talk about it, my mom is right there. My mom said, bro, this chick just came and said, what's up? She didn't talk about it. I guess this was her saying that this is my final goodbye. That was it. And that's how it ended. I gave her shit back. There was a lot of stuff that my mom gave her. I said, no, keep that shit. I want you to remember that shit. Remember it. See everything I gave you, and I don't want any of yours. I gave her everything she gave me back. And funny enough, this is what I keep joking about with my friends. Well, one or two. The stuff I gave her would need her to get a car to bring to me. The stuff she gave me all fit in a TM paper bag. A shopping bag. All the stuff she gave me all fit into a paper bag. And I gave it to her the day I last saw her. And I said, yo, this is all I have of you. Take it. I don't want it.
When did you last see her?
2018. Ain't seen her since.
That bumped into her?
Nope. Ain't seen her since.
Have you healed?
Yes, I have.
How are you so sure?
I actually, well, it's part of like part 2, which I need to go through fast. But I had a very fulfilling relationship later. Yes, it was 6 months, and I'm still friends with it. And by the way, that's actually a rule of mine. I don't make friends with my exes in general. That's a principle. But this one actually said, I appreciate you as a human being. Can we at least be friends? She's the one that broke it off. So that's the only fulfilling relationship I've had since then. And this one actually was a really good one. It's part of one of the rules. You saw one of the rules that said, I'll explain it. But essentially that was it. So I had healed, and it took a while because I went through Tinder. I went through my Tinder phase. I was in SA at some point, and I also went into the dating scene there. And yeah, I went around. Don't worry, that's also one of the things that I mentioned. Stay safe.
But why was it important for you to be around?
I needed to get it out.
What?
My resentment for loving somebody that didn't want to be loved.
The pain of that as well.
Yes, the pain. Yes, I went through therapy. The therapy was directed at my emotions towards the relationship that failed, but they didn't address what I was going to do after, which is now why I was going to talk about Harare being a big bedroom.
Interesting you say that about Harare being a big bedroom. I'm looking at our time.
I'll make it quick. I'll make it quick.
If we can, shoot, but I want to do it as a bonus episode.
Oh, okay.
Because this is very well contained.
Oh, okay.
It's best I wrap it up and then I do a bonus on Harare being a big bedroom. So for those listening to this episode of The Feeling Station, one very important lesson came out, which is after God, fear men and
fear women.
Fear
women.
After God, fear women.
Yes.
Right? And it's obvious why that has come through this. And before we break into the bonus episode, just want to thank you, Masimba, for being so upfront as a man and honest about how involved you were, because it's not every man who says that they were that much into a woman. We all tend to put it a little to the side so that we're not seen as simps.
Yeah.
I know there's a guy out there who's really benefited from what you're just saying.
Yeah.
So you've been listening to another episode of The Feeling Station. I'm your host, Tinto, and I will catch you in the bonus episode. Peace.
Ow. Tell me what you're feeling.
Satis andaro raini and chagezai.
Tell me what you're feeling. Now that it's over.
Satis andaro raini and chagezai.
Let me talk about my feelings. Let me talk about my feelings, yeah.
Urudoi motoru noto kujidziro amai.
Kujidziro amai. Love is a fire.
Urudoi motoru noto kujidziro amai.